everybody, and welcome to our bonus episode. Surprise drop. What are we calling it?
The end of 2020, start of something new. New
Surprise
year, new episode.
That's going to be the entire title. So I guess to explain the reasoning for this, because we're not talking about Soul. That's going to be obviously next Thursday. But I realized that we never talked about the new year. I don't know. I think we acknowledged it at the very end of the last episode, but I just felt like we should set aside some time outside of our regularly scheduled episodes to talk about the new year. And like last year, this new year, all that shit.
Nice little retrospective.
Yeah. And I guess a surprise. Well, this whole episode is a surprise, but I have a surprise for the listeners. So stay tuned. So hopefully this will probably just be really short. But just to start off, so I want to talk, it's going to be basically the first half of our regular episodes of just us talking about our personal lives and the podcast. But first things first, let's start off with our personal thing. So the first thing, let's talk about 2020. It overall shitty year, but I mean, we can talk about the bad things, but like, maybe not. So what are you personally proud of that you accomplished outside of the podcast, Anthony?
Well, I never really talked about it on the podcast, just because I felt weird. I just felt weird about it. Just like, I didn't want to brag or anything, but I interned at Microsoft last summer. So that was pretty awesome. It was virtual, so it wasn't like the full experience, but like,
so it didn't really happen.
It didn't really happen. No.
So I'd like to rescind my last statement.
No, it was a lot of fun. And my team, we made an internal tool that they use. So that was a lot of fun. Shaved my head. So that's like pinnacle 2020. Probably the only one to do that. No one else.
Yeah.
Very unique experience that I had. I started streaming, which is a lot of fun. Twitch.tv/MattRev_. And kicked ass in school. I was going to keep on doing that. So that's 2020.
There you go. Nothing else bad happened. I think all good things.
I can't think of anything. What about you?
I mean, the big one is going to therapy. That's a huge one. It's just made me, I feel like that's another thing a lot of people have been doing this year, is seeing a therapist, especially because it's easier because it's virtual, at least for me. It was really daunting to have to like figure out a time to actually go. So now that I can just like video call somebody, it feels nice. Yeah, and I've just learned a lot about myself. I'm also just not good at making appointments for anything.
Yeah.
So I've been also really good at like, if I notice, I've been having a lot of like weird eye problems and just skin problems. I just always have them, but usually I'm just like, it'll be fine. But this year I've obviously been like the first, and I think the virtual thing, my insurance has done free like virtual appointments.
That's awesome.
So it's just easier. Like the other day I had like another eye thing. And so I made an appointment and I had an appointment in like 10 minutes after making it. So
awesome.
Proud of myself for actually like caring about my health. Which you probably can't tell because I'm always like coughing and fucking like sniffling, but that's just allergies. That's just, there's not really anything to do with that, but that's a huge thing I'm proud of. I've just been doing a lot of like cool creative things. You have to remind me if I even talked about this. I think I forgot, but I was recently on my friend's podcast. He's right behind you. I don't even know if I mentioned that. So he's right behind you. I was on, I think it's the latest episode about Hush. And I was so nervous for that. And I think I typically would have been like, pushed it off, or when I get nervous to do something, I kind of like avoid doing it. But I did it and it was fun. And I got good feedback from it. So that was
good
fun.
Episode.
And just meeting, like I don't know if you saw Avital's post yesterday, but she mentioned that one of the good things about her year was meeting me. And I mean, same to her. Like that was, I know. Oh, for the listeners,
Tears.
Anthony was crying. Yeah. And just meeting her, and she's the person that's been like opening me up to like different like stuff to do, like creative wise, just helping her with her web series, thirsty.show, a little plug. And I'm just beginning to do like cooler things that I probably would have never been able to do if I didn't meet her. So yeah, just proud of reaching out and being able to like meet her and become friends with her. So shout out to Avital. Yeah.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we both moved into new places.
Oh yeah.
I completely forgot. Like I looked over and I saw Kayla. I was like, oh my gosh, I just moved in. I moved in
Whoa.
with her this year. That was hard.
Yeah. The fact that we did that we just moved to totally new places in the middle of a pandemic is, I don't know why that it just feels like a huge triumph. And I don't know why we didn't mention that. Yeah. But yeah, and I guess people can see now, and that if they watch the videos, which you can talk about a little bit, but I just have like, I've been able to do cool stuff with my apartment. I made this little statement wall behind me with just tape. Yeah, just making a new home.
I'm not recording this one.
Oh shit. Well, the last one.
Because I told you. Yeah, okay, your last one.
Well, if you look at, I guess I did say you're going to talk about it, so you could have corrected me then, but you wanted to interrupt me right now when I'm trying to
sorry,
brag about my new space. But yeah, I've just been doing cool, like, I think you too, like, it's interesting to build a home in a rented apartment, but I think we're finding ways to like feel at home. And this farm is just so much nicer than my old one. So
I lived in a dorm. That was terrible.
You lived in a fucking closet. Dude, dorms are no joke. But yeah, I thank you for mentioning that. I forgot about that. All right. So looking on, do you have anything else, or do you want to move on to 2021?
Let's move on. 2020 is gone.
It's dead. All right. So I don't like the term resolutions, because it just like, at least as somebody it's really hard for me to like resolve my goals, because I have huge goals that are going to take like so long to resolve. I like to instead set intentions for the next year. So like what I intend to achieve, what I intend to change. Just so like if things change, I mean, we've seen that years can get away from us and turn into something totally different. So what do you intend to do in the next year, Anthony?
I definitely want to put more effort into creative things, whether it be streaming, making a video. I haven't done that in so long.
You need to do TikToks, man.
I do. I feel like everyone that I send you and stuff that you send me back is just like, you could do this. Like,
and that's what you told me. I mean, not to expose what your ideas are, but you told me like, well, I want to do YouTube videos, but I only have little snippets of ideas and I don't know how to put them together. And it just clicked for me. I don't know. Maybe was it the same for you? Like whenever you sent me that, and I was like, oh, you should just be doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you have these small ideas that can fit within seconds. Just do a TikTok.
That one TikTok where it was like 2020 as a recap. I was like, this is like shot really, really well, and such like so many ideas put into one. Like it's just into like a 1 minute video. It was cool to see that.
And the cool thing,
I definitely want to try to do that.
Well, and the cool thing about TikTok, that the reason I'm like kind of telling you not to do YouTube anymore is because with YouTube, I feel like you can make good content, but it's really hard to like bring it in front of people's faces. TikTok, if you make good content and you show it to people, then I don't want to say it's easy to go viral, because like making the stuff that people make, especially the stuff that the people I know that they make, it's not easy to make that, but it's easy to like just make a little clip, send it out, and then let the algorithm do its work.
Right.
So I think it'd be interesting to try.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I like steamrolled your intention. Go on.
No, that's I mean that, we're not getting into podcast stuff, but I have some projects like computer science wise that I want to flesh out. A lot of people come to me with ideas, and I hopefully want to work on some of them. A lot of people come up with me ideas. I feel like that's every comp site. That's like that's the joke. Like everyone, like, can you help me fix the fridge? Like anything that has anything to do with technology is like, I need help with this. You're the person to help me with it.
The fridge.
I saw this TikTok. No, just because like fridges have like TVs and stuff now. They have like screens.
Dude, I don't understand. Maybe you can explain to me. This is another tangent. Why do some fridges, like I saw a commercial or like an ad for one where they were like, there's a camera so you don't have to see, you can see what's in the fridge without opening it. And
it's just like, laziness.
What problem is that solving?
Well, no. Okay. I the only time I could see that being useful is if you're at the grocery store and you're like, do I have mustard or canned cheese? Is that what that's for though? Cheese whiz. Yeah. Cause then you're like, I need to know if I need milk. So you'll just look on your little phone. Boom. I do have milk. We're good to go. I don't need to get it.
Interesting.
Boom.
Well, I mean, if that's what you want, then good luck.
What's your intentions for 2021?
I think the same thing about like creative projects. I know I do have plans for some, and just being better about my time with them. Like, I don't know. And also, well, the big thing is not just the time. Like that was just something that there's a reason for that. And I have a solution, but, mostly like trusting my instincts. I think it's hard for me because of that whole like imposter syndrome. And I don't know if you feel that yet, but I feel that a lot, especially like when I graduated college and started to move into like my career field. It's just, you don't feel like, for whatever reason, this is a universal thing, but you don't feel like you're qualified for what you're like trained to do. Yeah. And I'm good. I'm somebody that's good at like faking it till I make it. So I can fake that I'm like, yeah, this is a good idea. But sometimes it's hard for me, especially when I'm doing like personal stuff, like for the podcast or for our mom's business. I question like everything I'm doing. And at a certain point, like I'm also a perfectionist. So it takes me time to like make finite decisions. And so I just want to be quicker about that and to stop questioning myself. And this kind of goes into my next thing about, I've been starting to do this. Is that a sentence? I've been starting this already, but I don't know if you feel this in your field, but I'm also really bad. I'm good at like, if somebody was like, hey, can you do this for me? Like, can you design me whatever or make me a content calendar? Then I'm like, yeah, I can do it real quick. And I like put all of my effort into it. It's pretty good. Like I like it. But when it comes to doing stuff for myself, I don't want to do it, or I don't know what I should be doing. And so I did like finish my website and I really like it, but I guess I didn't realize until I did the rebrand of my website that the first one I had, it didn't really have any like heart in it. And it didn't feel like me. It felt like what I thought a professional should look like. So I'm trying to like, I guess that whole theme of trusting myself and asking myself, do I even like this? Or do I just think this is what other people will like? But it's hard to do.
Yeah, definitely. I don't even look at my personal website. It's garbage right now.
I'm super proud of mine. And like to bring her up again, Avital, she's been like so amazing in helping me. If there's one thing that I would tell people to do is to have like a person that is also creative, and that will also, the important thing is that they're honest with you. And she's super honest with me. She doesn't like hold back on her feedback, which is exactly what I need. And she'll like push me. Like she looked at my website and she was like, well, maybe you should add like a personal touch. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like by looking at it, you can see it's like pretty and all, but nobody really knows who I am. And so it's just nice to have people in my life that I can like go to, and or even JT, I'll like send him something and I know that his opinion is going to be honest and it's going to be exactly what I need to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and also just like I said, just, making new friendships. Cause I used to think like during the pandemic that it was going to be hard, but I have made new friendships, but also like maintaining the ones I have. Cause it's hard for me to do that, especially when I don't see them all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Do you want to talk about the pod?
Let's do it.
All right. So first, let's reflect, if we can, on our episodes. I don't know if I can remember like any of. I think the Rolodex in my memory only goes back to like the past 5 episodes. Beyond that, no fucking clue what we talked about. But I do want to talk about what our favorite episodes were. Do you have one? I have to like think back to it.
Mine would probably be Nacho Libre.
I knew you were going to say.
I'm very sad they took it off on Netflix. They took
so much off. Did you see what I put on the story? On our podcast story that they're taking like especially like the movies that we covered,
like Baby Mama, Nacho Libre, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Rip.
I would say Nacho Libre would probably be like, if not my favorite this year, just because I had a lot of fun listening back to that episode, even after I edited it, and I had a lot of fun making that like end like outro music, and I still go back and listen to it, so
as a pick me up.
Yeah. And also 8th grade, because I kind of did we kind of did the same thing, where at the end was some of the music I played in middle school that I still have.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go back and listen to that sometimes. But anyone that had a guest, I had a lot of fun doing, just because it's fun talking to you. Getting like Nacho Libre was a lot of fun. I don't think we had anyone on that one, but talking with someone else, just that trio back and forth is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. I think it's hard for me because sometimes I actually stopped listening to them. I used to listen to every single one of them, but I just like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to know what we talked about, but the one that I think when I stopped listening to them was around The Social Network. But I think that was one of my favorites because I hadn't listened to it. And Dad told me, and I mean, he's our dad, so I don't think he's pretty honest though. I don't think he would have just said this just to make us feel like great, even if it was a bad episode. But he told us, or he told me at least, that listening to the podcast made him want to watch the movie. And that was a really great compliment because I had like I didn't even tell you this, but I had like a crisis the other day because I think I was like, the first thought was that I don't really like the logo anymore. And I just spiraled into like, is this even a good podcast? Like, I think it is, but I don't know. Like, I think I just had this, like, what do we bring? I don't know if you have this. I have this every now and then where I'm like, is it even good? And I think it is. And the one thing that made me like think of it as the Nacho Libre episode, because I feel like I want to do that more. Well, this is kind of going into the intentions, but I really like those moments where we kind of break the format. Like when we had those little like made up ads, we don't do that anymore, but I like that. Or I like when we have these just like little ideas that we throw in because we're like, oh, fuck it. Who cares? Like, that's what we want to do. So I like that. And you bring that, like a lot of that into it. But I think one of the things that makes me really happy is when I either change, like when people listen and they change we change their perspective of a movie, or Definitely. When I hear from Dad a lot where he says he really likes our insights into movies, and just that's the best compliment. And one of my friends told me that too, where she said when she likes to ask me about what I think about movies because I usually bring up something that she would have never thought of. And so I want to try to do that more. That's why I do those little, I try to do that little like the research. I used to go too much into the research, but I like doing that. Like when we're talking about Dumplin', like I talked a little bit more just about so people can know about like fat phobia and just what it's like to be a fat woman. Because I don't think people go into a movie podcast thinking that they'll get that, but I like that at the end of the day, they'll like walk away with that. Because I like, I want to show people movies, but I also want to show them new perspectives of movies and just make my goal is to make, and I think it's just me and your goal. I don't know if that's the correct way to say it, but our goal to make people think about movies differently, or to at least just make them think about them a little bit more.
I want everyone to watch Surf's Up and Megamind and to just change their mind.
And that's the thing too. I say something really insightful and you're like, Megamind.
Robots.
And I do like, I always complain about like when you pick movies like Robots or Megamind, but it is a challenge to kind of figure out what the fuck I should, what's going to make it interesting. Cause I do the notes for it. And so sometimes after I'm like, do you know that I have to like pull shit out of thin air for some of these, but sometimes it's not that hard, Yeah.
I like to have fun with it. Now, I definitely get that feeling like sometimes looking at just the numbers of everything. But I mean, as long as we're having fun with it, and I think we've both grown a lot over the last year. Not only like just technically, like our Instagram posts are a lot cooler because we have the little audio spectrum and the graphics are a lot better, and we have new mics and new stands.
I think just the way we record too.
Definitely. I don't even want to listen to Stuber. That would be terrible.
I don't think it was that bad, was it? Maybe.
Just technically. I don't even want to listen to it. But I feel like we bring a lot more than episode 1. So
yeah. I think and like talking about our favorite episode, this kind of turned to something else. But the one thing that I want and that I hope that we give people is that we'll pick a movie and they'll be excited to like watch it and be like, well, I can't wait to see what Livia and Anthony think about it. Or I can't wait to hear what they like. Just that, like what they think about it or what they're going to say about it. Like, that's what I want to be those people for them where we're not the end all be all on the opinions, but like, I at least want to bring
something new.
Yeah. And hopefully make them laugh. I'm trying to be funnier, but I don't know if it's working.
Yeah. I've started writing more jokes, but I don't know if they hit. So I honestly don't know. I got to workshop them with Kayla.
And that's the thing too, is I think I said this in an episode before, but I used to want like think of jokes whenever I watched the movie, but then I wouldn't write them down because I was like, no, they need to be natural. But why? Like I would always do that, but it doesn't. Yeah. And then I also just was questioning our format. I don't know. I just questioned everything. I told Sebastian, like, is it annoying that we go through every beat of the movie? And he was like, no, I mean, how else are you going to do it?
Yeah, I was thinking of that too, because like just listening to the episode that you were on, they were kind of like they followed through the movie, but more loosely than we do.
Yeah,
but
that's how He's Right Behind You does it. That doesn't necessarily need to be how we do it. But I do like taking. I think after doing to shout them out, after doing He's Right Behind You, I did take a lot of inspiration on how they do it to kind of meld it into how we do it. Like, I do like the notes and I like that I do it very structured, but I also want to, I don't know if you could tell, but I've also trimmed it a lot more to like have room for more conversations, and instead just like having the notes just be beats so that we can like move on through the storyline.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll still evolve it, but I at least think that robots was a really good example in how I want to do it, where we skipped a lot of the stuff, but like we don't need to talk about every single thing.
I'm going to take that little quote of you and I'm going to print it and I'm going to put it on my wall.
What?
Robots is a good example.
Oh my God.
Robots is everything that you ever want.
Well, I did put in the post, it's the blueprint.
That's funny.
All right. So, well, I guess I don't know if we covered this, but also just like what we're proud of in the last year on the podcast. I think growth is probably the biggest thing. I edit a lot more now, so that's cool. Like got different tracks and everything. Before it was just one Skype call recording. Now it's like different tracks and using Audition and After Effects and Premiere for the episode, and just the numbers too. Like we hit a lot of milestones this year, like 1,000 streams, 1,500 downloads. So that was all really cool. I like that. That was fun. How long have we been doing it? Like a year and a half?
Nah, not a year and a half. A year and a couple months. Like we started in August of 2019.
It feels like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like the last few months we've been growing a lot more than we have the last entire year. Or is that not true?
It's probably because we started doing it weekly. I don't know why we didn't do that from the get-go.
Well, because I was conscious about you go to school. And I mean, I have a full-time job too, but like, but I don't know. I think I overestimated how much time. Well, also, I think being in the pandemic also pushed us to do that.
Oh, definitely.
After, I don't know how that's going to affect everything. I think it'll be fine, but
I think it'll be fine, especially because I think we have a good like routine that we go through.
Yeah, we need to be better about the recording schedule, but it's okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so that's moving. Well, do you want to move on or do you want to keep talking about what we're proud of?
I'm not proud of watching the wrong movie. The one time I watched
what I'm not proud of is that we didn't find out while we were recording.
Oh yeah, man, that would have been
so funny,
hilarious
to have that moment recorded.
Man, never again, funny. Never again. If we had a guest, that would have been the worst nightmare.
That would have been like even funnier.
That shit or something.
Yeah, but our guests are like right now. Hopefully, well, that's what we can like, I guess, move on to. Is in the future. But our guests right now are like usually our friends or family. So like,
yeah,
what are they going to do? But yeah, so I guess we can now talk about like what we're looking forward to, the kind of intentions we want to set, and talking about the guests thing. I want to have more guests, but my goal is to have a guest that like neither of us know, just solely through reaching out. So that would be cool. And especially somebody that is like in the industry somehow. Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, here's to 21. I said, here's to wishing, but here's to 2021.
Yeah. And then at least, do you want me to talk about the like logo or do you want to talk about your thing first?
No, go for it.
So another thing that I guess we're looking forward to, I don't know how much you want to talk about. I think you've already mentioned it, but Anthony's making us a website, and it got me. The whole spiral started from, I think I mentioned already. I don't know. I'm already fucking losing it. But is that I wanted to rebrand. Like I like the logo that we have now, but I'm kind of tired of it. And I've been wanting to do that. I've been wanting to add different colors because it's just very like monotone. And I don't think it reflects. And the big thing too is the theme song that Sebastian made for us. It doesn't click with the logo to me. And so we have a new logo. And if you're listening right now, from coming from Instagram, like finding out that we have a new episode, then you've already seen it. But I do want to mention because the reason that I was like hesitant to do this, to like the reason I thought about it a lot, changing the logo, because it sounds arbitrary. Like it sounds like, okay, just fucking change it. It's not a big deal. But I've already changed it before. And I don't know. I wasn't, like I said, it was just one of those things where I didn't put a lot of thought into it because I was like, whatever. It's a podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's me and you. So I was like, but if it's not a client, so like, whatever. But now that like more people, especially people that don't know us, are starting to listen, I'm like, okay, I need to like actually step it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I promise, I will make the promise now. It's not going to change. This is the rebrand that it's going to stick. But I really like it. I showed it to Anthony. He really likes it too. We are proud
very
of
happy.
it.
Very happy with the direction that we're going. It feels, I said this to Livia off air, but it feels like us.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other one, it just felt like, I don't know. All I can say is this one feels like us.
Well, that's the thing, is that's what goes into my personal intentions, is that it felt like the imitation of what a podcast should be, of what a logo should look like. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and I think I showed it to you before we did it and you were like, yeah, but like, but yeah, I think it was me thinking, oh, this is what podcasts look like. Right. But now I think this is more of, I wanted to shift into something that felt like us. And this feels very much like us. And it also just feels more professional. It feels more like, it's just insane to me that the imitation it doesn't feel like an actual podcast. But now that I'm like true to what we want it to be, it feels more legit.
It's just like when we got this mic stand, we're like, now we're a real podcast.
Now it feels legit. There you go. Well. So let us know. Well, I guess you can let us know what you think about it, but yeah. And do you want to talk about the website, or like, is that what your intentions are, is to finish it?
Yeah. I mean, it's just going to be one stop. Instead of our link tree, we're just going to have that. And it's going to be just our one-stop shop of getting everything about us. The episodes. Yeah. Just like a consolidated, really nice space for everything. It'll look really cool, especially with this new logo. Mobile friendly. Happy to say that I got that working. But yeah, I'm working on that, and more info will be released when it's ready for you guys to go watch it.
And I think
view it.
Oh, watch it. Just watch it. Just have it on your browser and just watch it for us. Have you seen that meme where it's like somebody puts like Facebook Live and they're like, "Can you watch my kid for me? I gotta go to the store." You watch our website for us. And I think, I mean, I don't know if I haven't really talked to you about this, but I feel like the website will bring a lot of cool, like, we could do a lot of different things with it. Like, I used to blog.
Yeah,
and I've had a lot of failed attempts at that, but I want to get back into it because I do love writing long form stuff.
I was going to say I have a hidden tab for that.
And I want to do it. I mean, I think it'll be a fun way to like stretch that writing muscle that I haven't done in a while. And more just like, I don't know, maybe just essays instead of a weekly blog, just like when, you know, I have these rants that I have all the time, and just put it somewhere, instead of just like having Anthony edit it out. Well, you never edit it out, but
there was some stuff I edited out in recent episodes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Take it easy. In this essay, I will.
Yeah, exactly. And just different stuff. That'll be fun. And to not have a link tree. I don't like the link tree.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really cool. Cool stuff.
And I mean, for the podcast, I think also, I said this last year, and I think I've failed at it, but just being more intentional about the movies that we're choosing. And I think too, it'll be interesting now that it seems like movie studios are starting to change their format, and the movies that we're able to pick are accessible, but they're also like brand new.
This is kind of good for us.
Kind of. Yeah, I think it is. Well, also, I've already had that. This is, I guess I'll bookmark this blog idea, but I get the cons of it, but the pros are that more people can see it. More people can complain about how garbage Wonder Woman was.
But yeah. I thought you were going to say Tenet. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, that's not accessible. It's still behind a paywall.
Yeah, but I still got scared. All right. That's it for our first episode, right? First bonus episode.
Bonused.
I just can't speak. I don't know. First bonus episode. First episode of 2021.
First bonus ever. And I think, like, let us know if you guys like a bonus episode. I mean, I don't know what else we would do it about. We had, well, I guess this is a good example of how, like, you have plans for 2020 and then it just like laughs in your face. But we had an idea before the pandemic hit of like doing bonus episodes about movies that are in theaters. And then I feel like we had that idea directly before it happened. So
it's like someone heard that we were going to do that and was like, nah.
How about you stay inside for a year? How about you never see the inside of a movie theater for 9 months?
All right, we're going to close them down, actually. Yep.
I laugh so I don't cry.
Yeah.
Or even the big thing too. Okay, we can end on this. Is so I was supposed to go to South by. We had a whole plan for it. So
yeah. I forgot about that. I forgot about South by.
We had a whole plan where I was gonna. Okay, so this is the funny part. Is our plan was that I was gonna I bought a little like voice recorder that like on the go, so I could after every movie give a little recap or just like throughout the day. Just this is so sad. Throughout the day, just like have little notes about what I was seeing, who I was meeting. I was so fucking excited. And I remembered that I had this voice recorder and I was like, I feel like I can use this for something. And so when I moved, this happened recently when I moved. So like maybe a couple months ago, I remember that I had it. And so this was the middle of the night. I just was searching everywhere for it. I found it and it was bent and it did not work anymore. And I was like, this is the perfect example. This is a visual representation of my plans for South by and how it happened. It just fucking broke and it doesn't work anymore. And the sad thing is I remember when I heard the news that it might be canceled and I recorded a little snippet of saying what it's probably not going to happen, but I had a little recording and now it's lost forever.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you bought it. I remember talking about it, but I didn't know you bought it. Wow.
Because I was like, this would be cool just to have whenever. And I mean, I do want to start doing that, but now what's the point?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be cool to have a little voice recorder and instead of recapping our movies, maybe we can do this in the future, but instead of recapping, whenever we went to the movies, instead of recapping it when we talk to each other right after, record something and then add it into but I don't know. But now it doesn't matter.
2020 is over. Looking forward to everything that 21 holds.
Cautiously optimistic is how I feel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on Thursday with Soul.